This morning, as you may know, Republicans in the House presented strong evidence of ethical violations by the Biden family. I don't believe there is two sides to the story. The evidence is powerful, damning, that Joe Biden, as vice president, used his office to allow Hunter Biden and his brother James to enrich themselves. That is an ethical violation. And it might be criminal, but we don't have the evidence of the criminality yet. It might be. This is like Watergate. You stair step it, okay? But ethically, there's no question. So the corrupt media, CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, didn't even cover the press conference. Ignored it. The New York Times, shocking. On its website, we checked in, all throughout the day, and up until airtime, they haven't covered it. It's stunning. When you compare what they do to Trump, and this is the paper of record, sure. They ignored it like it never existed. All right, so what did we learn? The overarching charge that the GOP Grand Old Party people in the House presented was that the countries of China and Romania sent millions of dollars to companies controlled by Hunter and James Biden. They did this in a very furtive, sly way. They set up shell corporations, monies were wired all over the place, all of that. Okay? Now, why would you do that if you were doing legitimate business? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. They were trying to hide the money, Hunter and James Biden, from public view. And from the IRS, because I think Hunter Biden's going to be indicted this week, perhaps, on tax charges. Okay, they didn't pay taxes on a lot of this money. So that's established now. The House is banking records. They have wire transfer records. It's in stone. Now, who enabled all that? As Vice President Joe Biden did. We all know the flights on Air Force Two to China in particular, okay? The meetings at the White House with Hunter's cohorts in the business operations. It's just across the board, okay? It's the same thing that almost destroyed U.S. Grant in his administration. It's the same thing. Just Google U.S. Grant whiskey scandal, and it'll pop up. I'm not going to bore you with it here, but Grant, friends, circle of confidants, all got lots of money by selling whiskey illegally. And Grant had to know. He denied it, and nothing happened to Grant because they couldn't prove that Grant benefited from it, but certainly he was appointing people in position of government to make this scandal happen. It's the same thing. So Biden, as vice president, enabled this scam, and it was a scam. Hunter Biden provided no service to Romania or China, nothing. And then there's Ukraine in the mix, there's Russia in the mix. The money was just flowing in to these shell corporations. That is unethical for a sitting vice president to enable that, period. You all understand that? Now, criminality. The House Investigative Committee, Oversight Committee, does not have that yet. They admitted it. They said, if you're a whistleblower, come forward. It's like Watergate. Step number one, okay? The people who broke into the DNC headquarters had a link to the White House. Nixon goes, I didn't know anything about it, okay? Step number two, the links went up the chain of the White House command for Nixon, and then on and on and on and on. Okay. So this morning, the head of the Oversight Committee, James Comer, congressman from Kentucky, said this.
In March, the committee released its first bank records memorandum that showed a Biden associate, Rob Walker, used his company to funnel money from the Chinese to various Biden family members. Democrats dismissed the evidence, even though it was based on bank records directly from the bank. The bank records show the Biden family, their associates, and their companies received over $10 million from foreign nationals and their companies. Some of that money came from a Chinese company and went to Hunter Biden's company. Other transfers occurred with the help of Rob Walker, who then sent it on to different Biden family members. This is not how lawful businesses operate.
Now, instead of the House committee doing this, the FBI should be doing this. But the FBI is not doing it as far as we know. However, there is a memo, and I'm going to get to that. So the FBI should have that press conference, and not the politicians. But because the FBI is compromised, and we all know that, there's no federal agency looking into charges of criminality. So Comer says this is not how lawful businesses operate. Okay. But Comer doesn't have the ability to charge anybody. That has to be done by the Justice Department, which is corrupt. It's just so depressing. The chairman of the Fed is promising more pain ahead. Last year, stocks dropped a whopping 20%. 2023 could be worse. You are right to be worried. So call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Since I've been a client and spokesperson, the price of gold has appreciated more than 35%. So please call today and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. They have thousands of satisfied customers and have the highest rating in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Please tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $5,000 of free silver on your first order. Please call 866-501-5201. That's 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.